Let's go to Pauline Hanson, the leader of One Nation. She joins us live, as ever, from Canberra. Good to talk to you again, Pauline. What do you make of this? With Anthony Albanese effectively supporting a Palestinian state, it's just the timing is the issue for him. And Ed Husic, so go faster, join the Poms now.
I think Ed Husic is going back to his Muslim leanings, and the whole fact is once you're born a Muslim, you are a Muslim, you cannot turn your back on it, and they will always support Muslims. Chris, everything that you've said, I've totally agreed, and I heard your whole intro into it, and I totally agree with everything that you say. Although it's a very complex issue, and I'm only a senator in the Queensland Parliament, Queensland Senate for Australia. My view on this, I do not believe in giving Palestine the state solution, single state solution or the two-state solution. Israel was the aggrieved here, and we knew that what happened on October the 7th, nearly 2 years ago. People were murdered, 1,200 people murdered, and the way they wanted to destroy Israel. Since then, they've come out and said in their own mouths, we will keep going until we destroy them. You don't give this recognition to the people on the United Nations General Assembly to give them this credit. They are not good global citizens. And for these country leaders, for the country leaders around the world, is wrong to do that. They have shown that they even murder their own kids, their own people. They are actually taking food out of their mouths. Israel has delivered 66,000 truckloads of food. They've actually put 1.3 million tonnes of food across. This is the people that have been, aggrieved with what they've done to them, and yet they're sending food across their borders because that is the airspace to land it. And it's taken time because they have to make sure that no munitions or ammunition or, anything, guns are not going across the borders to them to take up the fight against Israel again. So how can you keep having a go at Israel, what they're trying to do? Hamas has never done. To me, this is something like Afghanistan. I went over to Afghanistan during the war that was over there. And the whole fact is I saw where the country was then. Women were getting into the military, into teaching and into the police. Once we pulled out of it, the Taliban came back. The country went back to the way it was. Hamas needs to be destroyed. You cannot, any alternative. They must hand back the hostages, whether they're dead or alive. Hamas must be gone. There must be a democratic election by the people. They must follow those rules before I believe in a two-state solution.
Yeah, it is the only way forward, and the rest is pretense. There's no doubt about that. And I want to bring it back to domestic politics and your push to scrap the net zero by 2050 target. You put that motion to Parliament. But the youngest senator, a new Labor senator from South Australia, took issue with you. Here she is, Charlotte Walker.
Are you kidding? The motion put forward by Senator Hanson to scrap net zero indicates a severe lack of knowledge and a complete disregard for the future of our generation, the future of our country. Without a net zero target, there will be no Australian farmers, businesses or industries to support us.
Yeah, have you had a chance to meet Charlotte and perhaps chat to her about how on earth Australia's net zero target is going to change the climate?
No, I haven't. This is a closed book. I mean, say this young person that comes on the floor of Parliament after my 30 years experience on the floor of Parliament, that I've spoken to actually, scientists and Ian Plimer and different ones and read books on this, that I actually have a broad knowledge about climate change. I'm not denying climate change, but to tell me that's coming from the 3% of human emissions is absolutely ridiculous. These kids have been brainwashed in the educational system and the universities, end up on the floor of Parliament, don't know what the hell they're talking about, no sooner out of this brainwashing system, out of the nappies. What the hell would she know about it? I could be wrong, and I'm not going to put down a lot of the young ones. A lot of the young ones believe in what I'm saying, but they've been brainwashed. There's no critical thinking in our educational system. And maybe, further down 2050, when the world hasn't come to an end, when the oceans aren't rising and they're not flooding these sea lines here, or these Islands are still surviving. It's just been a scam, Chris, and I'll stand my ground on that. Until we get rid of this net zero that's being pushed on people, the cost of living is destroying them more so than what the climate change with 3% emissions or a 1% emission out of the 100% global emissions. And when they start pulling in China and India and the United States, who have 50% of emissions, then, you know, I might start listening to what they have to say. I'm not interested in what she has to say.
21-year-olds in the Senate, hey, there we go.